Hello, welcome to Rico Daily Hacks. Today we're going to talk about 5 steps to better your credit. Starting with number 1, pay on time. These are in order of the most important to the least effective, okay? So the most important thing that you can do with your credit is pay on time. That makes up 35% of your overall credit. So if you always pay on time, you already got that 35% done, maxed out. So you're kind of looking at it as portions of your credit. They're in brackets, and you're trying to max out each bracket. Then we go on to number 2, which is to reduce your credit utilization. And you can do that in multiple ways. Credit utilization is if you have, let's say, $10K available for credit, and let's say you only have one credit card, $10K available, and you're using $10K, you're using 100%. That looks really bad. Looks like you're maxing out your credit, because you are. So there's multiple ways of doing this. There's 2 sides to an equation. So you can pay your debt. Oh, I can't type in there. That's interesting. Okay, you can pay your debt, or you can increase your credit limit. And you can do that in multiple ways. So paying down your debt is obviously making payments to reduce how much you owe. On the other side, to increase your credit, you can either have your account be close to the limit for that account, and they will usually bump it up for you on their own. Okay? Now, that means you're using debt, so you probably don't want to do it that way. The other way is to ask for an increase on your line, and they will give it to you depending on your situation. Then there's one more way. You can open a new credit line, and when you open it, you want to ask for a really high balance. So that way they limit you, you don't limit yourself. You don't want to open up a card and say, I just want $1,000, and they give you $1,000, because you could have probably got more than that, but you don't know what the limit is. So usually I shoot really high up. I'm like, I want 100 grand, which there's no way that's gonna happen. So then let's say they'll give me 10K. If you started with 1,000, you're gonna limit yourself a lot. Then we're gonna go to keep accounts open, which is number 3. So the reason why you want to keep accounts open is because the older your accounts, the better. So if you have 5 new credit cards and they're all from 2022, that's going to be pretty bad on you, because it's only been 7 months or less. So your credit history is very short. Now, it does average out. So if you have a really old credit card and a new one, it's going to average out to both of them added up divided by 2. So if one's 5 years old and one's 1 year old, is going to be at about 2.5. So, or actually it'll be 3, because it'll be 1 year and then 5 years, 6 divided by 2, it'd be 3 years averaged out. So you want to keep accounts open for a long time, and you want to open them like not often. Okay, you want to space them out. Number 4 is different account types. What that means is if you have a couple credit cards, let's go with a phone that you finance through T-Mobile or something. Your car, you have a mortgage, like your credit's good, but in reality, if you already have a mortgage, it's like, what else do you want credit for, right? So realistically, it would be for a car, for a home, so things you don't want to buy outright right up front, or it's to enable you to do other things. And I'll talk about different credit lines on different videos. So you want to have different account types for number 4. Number 5, keep inquiries low. That means is don't be hitting up your credit for everything. If you go to Best Buy to buy a TV and they're like, oh, you can delay your interest for whatever months and not make payments for 6 months, or whatever they're trying to give you, don't do that just because you can hit your credit. And just, you're going to get an inquiry, and that's going to stay on there for a couple years, and it's going to impact your credit. It's not a very huge impact, but when you have a bunch of inquiries, it looks really bad. If you have like 10 inquiries, people are going to start giving you, businesses and financial institutions are going to start giving you credit because they look like, they're looking at you and they're like, this person's desperate. They just want a bunch of credit everywhere. So if you have your TV financed, your couch is financed, your phone is financed, your iPad is financed, your computer's financed with Apple, your it's gonna look really bad. You got your car, you got your mortgage, you have an RV, you have a boat, you got a jet ski, you have four-wheelers. Like, it's gonna look really bad when you have a bunch of inquiries. So you wanna keep your inquiries low. And those, I give a rule of thumb, if you're starting out, open one account a year. After like 5 years, stop and just hold. There's no reason to have like a million accounts, and that way you can then later hit accounts differently. And I will also make videos on how to open up accounts and get your score to the 800s by age 25, which is, I got my credit score in the 800s before I was 25. But I do have a car. Oh no, I had a car on there. I did end up having a personal loan at some point. I currently have a really nice line of credit. I have a bunch of credit cards, which carry no balance, and a mortgage. So right now, with the mortgage, I'm still in the 800s. All right, so that'll be done for this video, and see you all on the next one.